Greetings, Madhouse. My name is JK Tiger, and please bear with me for like a minute because this is a very last minute video. But this is the final video that I will be uploading for 2025. Um, it was meant to be the Little Nightmares 3 solo series that I'm doing by myself. But then the file size, I mean, the video itself was like 3 hours, maybe over 3 hours to edit for some reason. I must have been like talking for fucking ages. And it realistically, like in the time where, because I traveled back home for the holidays for Christmas, in that time, traveling to and from like where I used to live to where I'm living now and working and trying to edit, realistically I wasn't going to get that video out, especially when it's like 3 hours long, so it just wasn't realistic for me to do. And then I thought, oh, I could play like an indie game, like a small indie horror game, and just pump out a video real quick. But the thing that I have been notorious for is like bullying myself into doing things last minute, hence why I'm doing this video now. Um, but again, I'm kind of learning that I don't need to do this. Like, it's not a necessity. It's not necessary for me to like force, the Little Nightmares video to be so last minute that it stresses me out, and for me to do a series when it doesn't need to be uploaded, you know. But I also didn't want to leave 2025 with the last video that I upload being either a YouTube short or an unfinished Little Nightmares solo Let's Play series, because it just didn't feel right. And it also made me itch. The idea of leaving something unfinished as my final video for the year. So this is it's literally maybe an hour and a half before the end of the year, and it's a super last minute video, so hopefully, touch wood, it gets out in time. But I just and I mostly just wanted to say thank you for your continued support for this channel and everything I do, pretty much. Whether you're new here and you're fairly recent and a new subscriber to the Madhouse, or whether you've been here since day dot, pretty much. Whoever you are and however long you've been here, your support and your kindness and your presence here is so very appreciated year by year and day by day, and I'm truly grateful. And again, it would feel wrong to just finish the year with an unfinished series rather than something a little bit more personal, or at least something better than that, because if there's one thing this year, and maybe the couple years prior to this has taught me, is that I have come a long way in terms of quality over quantity. And I've taken a huge amount of pride in the quality of what I'm producing and putting out there on the channel. Because before, like, in the early days, maybe like the first 5-6 years, it was more like I would pump out a video, maybe 2 videos every single day. I'm talking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Bearing in mind, I would also work a 9 to 5, and I'd have a social life and just a life in general, which I look back on now, and it was fucking insane that I would try and do any of this. But the quality was never there. But I've come a long way, and I can recognize that although I'm not putting out as many videos, because I've noticed, like, in the earlier days, if I were to look at my channel on my phone, I would scroll for like a good 2 minutes before I'd reach the very first video of the year, and then going back down, it would take another 2 minutes to reach the very last video. Whereas this year, I think I'd scroll twice and I'd reach the very first video of like January 1st, 2025, which was still Wakes the Deep. And that bugs me a little bit because I wish I'd played and uploaded more videos, but at the same time, I'm learning that that's okay, because, you know, I have a life, and, you know, I don't need to bully myself into producing this much, especially when, you know, realistically, I'm not getting paid for this, and it's not a job, and I do have a life outside of this, so I've come a long way, but it's mostly because of the fact that I'm putting out more quality than quantity. And I think the biggest thing for me this year, looking back, and maybe the past couple years before that, is that I'm very proud of the attention to detail and the effort that I put into the videos, even though they might not be as many as they used to be. They are so much better than what they ever were, and that's a big deal to me. Jesus Christ, this is like 8 minutes already. It was literally meant to be just a 5-minute. This is the last video. Thanks for your support. Goodbye. Happy New Year. But I again, as always, I'm fucking rambling. It's not always a bad thing. It's alright. I don't really do New Year's resolutions. Never really have. But I think I might have a good list of a few things I want to do, not just on the channel, but in my personal life. And I think one of the main things I want to do, aside from keep up the quality of the videos, is to play more indie games, man. I was gonna try and like list off a fucking... The goal, I mean, a goal would be 1,000 subscribers. That would be sick, because we're very close. But, you know, I'm going to see what happens. I'm not going to fucking hold my breath. But if I was to set myself a small resolution or goal for the year, for 2026, it would be to play more indie horror games. It would be to play more indie horror games. Because that's what started the channel. That was like the foundation for what the Madhouse is. And I feel like the past few years I haven't really dived back into that realm of horror for gaming, and I miss it so very dearly. So I think that's it's not even really a resolution. Yeah, you know what? It's a resolution. The New Year's resolution for this channel, for me, JK Tiger, on this channel, is to play more indie horror games, and I think that's achievable. I think that's achievable January 1st, actually. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I don't really do New Year's resolutions. If you want to do something, you can set your mind to. You can do it anytime you want, but I'm gonna do it this year, next year even. I'm gonna play more indie horror games, and it's gonna be fun. But anyways, I am terrible with these videos. I don't do them anymore, as you can tell by how awkward and shit this is. It's even weirder without headphones, by the way. Like, without headphones, like, this is so much better. Like, talking like this is so much better, but without, it's just, I'm so much more aware of my voice, and I hate my voice, man. Like, when I'm trying to talk seriously, I kind of come across as, like, trembly and, like, I don't know. It's weird, because I'm always shouting, and that's just because of, like, horror games and shit. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, I'm rambling again. This has been a good year. I've really... Again, although I haven't uploaded as much as deep down I want to, and maybe haven't played as much like indie games and stuff, the games I have played, I've thoroughly enjoyed. And I don't look into the analytics and the statistics of like views and stuff as much as I used to. I used to be obsessed with that shit, but these days I'm not that bothered, to be honest. But I will say, I think this year I have accumulated more views through gaming videos than I have, I think, ever on the channel. I mean, it was kicking off with like Poppy Playtime, chapter like 3 and 4, I think it was. Still Wakes the Deep was popping off. Life is Strange. Little Nightmares was at one point when I was doing the series with Dire Soul. It's been a fantastic year. It's been a fucking awesome year. But I feel like next year's going to be better. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that next year is going to be better. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for now, thank you everybody so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and every other video throughout 2025. I hope you have an awesome new year. And as always, I will see you in the new year.
Until next time, Madhouse.